Hello class, this is Saloni Mishra, your instructor for DS 520. Welcome to your first week. So in the first chapter, we will learn about data and its distribution. So for the introduction, we will go from all these points one by one. So in the first part, we will understand about the content of data, types of variable, and key characteristics of a dataset. So first thing is, what are the cases? So cases are the objects that are described by a set of data, and cases may be customer, company, subject, units in an experiment, or other objects. What is a label? Label is a special variable whenever used in some data sets to distinguish the different cases. And a variable is a special characteristic of a case. And different cases can have different values of a variable. So what is that? We will understand it by examples. So for example, here we can see that study time and grades is the example. And the teacher wants to know if third grade student who spend more time reading at home get higher homework and exam grades. So what is the case here? Because we want to study about the student, so student is the case here. And what are the variables? So variable is the amount of the time spent reading at home, and this is about the student. Homework grades, what the students are getting, and the exam grades, what will they get in their exams. For the other example, it's dog food. So if a researcher wants to know if dogs who are fed only canned food have different body mass indexes, that is BMI, then dogs who are fed only hard food, they collected BMI data from 50 dogs who eat only canned foods and 50 dogs who eat only hard food. So here, what is the cases? Now you can understand it, the dogs, because we are studying about the dogs. So cases are for the dogs. And what are the variables? So we are collecting the data first for the type of food, because we have two types of food here. We can see here, first is the who eat only canned food and the dog who only eat hard food. And what is the BMI? We will calculate it later. So I think you will be able to understand it now. So there are two types of variables. One is categorical and the other is quantitative variable. And the categorical variable places each case into one of the several groups or categories. And in this, we can take the example of ice cream flavor, such as vanilla, chocolate, or butterscotch, or the hair color like blonde, brunette, red, or black, gender like male and female. And the other variable is the quantitative variable, and it takes numerical values for which we can do arithmetic operations on it. And for its example, it's height, weight, width, etc. So for the key characteristics of a data set, every data set is accompanied by important background information. And in a statistical study, always ask the following questions. First is who. It means what cases do the data describe and how many cases does a data set have. Like in the earlier example we saw, the example is on students or for the dog. So those were the cases. And after that question arises what? So how many variables does the data set have? What are the exact definitions of these variables? And what are the units of measurements for each quantitative variables? Like if there is weight, is it in the pounds or is it in the kilograms or other things? And then question arises why. So what is the purpose do the data have, and do the data contain the information which we need to answer the question of interest? So in this part, we will understand about the displaying distribution with graphs. So when we get the data, we do exploratory data analysis. In short, we call it as EDA. And so when we get the data, first we explore it. How we explore it? As the data has in itself different variables. So first we examine each variable by itself. Like if there are 4 or 5 variables, So if, for example, you take height, weight, width, or gender, so first we want to see how the variable is distributed in itself. And then we move on to the study the relationship among the variables, like if there is height and weight, how they are related. And then we do the graph or graphs, or then we add numerical summaries, that is mean, median, and other types of summaries of specific aspects of the dataset. So for the variables, we construct a data by deciding which cases or units we want to study. And for each case, we record information about that characteristics. We call it as variables. So first thing first, we will take as individual. That is an object described by data. And then the variables come into the account, and the variables are of mainly two types, that is categorical variable that places individual into one of the several groups or categories, and the other is quantitative variable, and that takes numerical value for which arithmetic operation makes sense. So distribution of a variable. So to examine a single variable, we graphically display its distribution. So what is the distribution? Now question arises. So distribution of a variable tells us what value it takes and how often it takes this value. So to better understand it, we understand first the term distribution. As the word tells about it itself, it's just the distribution of the counts or the probabilities among different categories. For example, you can take, if there are 50 students in a class, and we want to see if there is a category of the age from age 21 to 31 years of age, how many students are in that category. And likewise, we can see how many students are in the age category from 31 to 41. So this is a kind of the distribution. And distribution can be displayed using a variety of graphical tools, and the proper choice of graph depends on the nature of the variables. So as we know, there are two types of variables. One is categorical variable, and for understanding categorical variable distribution, we use pie chart or bar graph. And for the quantitative variable, we normally use histogram or stem plot. So in the categorical variables, the distribution of categorical variables lists the categories and give the count or percent of individuals who fall into that each category. Pie charts show the distribution of a category variable as a pie and whose slices are sized by the counts or percent for that categories. Whereas when we talk about the bar graphs, that represent categories as bars whose height shows the category counts or percentage. So here in the example, we can particularly see that married people are more than half than never married people, and divorced and widowed people in total. And similarly, if we have counts in the bar graph, we can particularly see by number that there are totally 120 people around married, whereas there are 40 people around never married, and widowed almost less than 20, divorced almost 20. So here we can also get the proportion, or we can get the percentage from these graphs too. So here is one other example for the pie charts and bar graphs. So here we have data from the resources and with their count and percent of total. Resources are Google, library database, Wikipedia, and others. So for the percentage, we got the count like Google 406 divided by 552, which gives 73.55 into 100. So we got 73.6%. And when we get it into the pie chart or in the bar graph, we can see here is the distribution of our data. So when we see the numbers, it's particularly we have to read each number and understand it. But when we see the graph or chart, we can easily understand how the data is looking by seeing the category numbers. Like here we can see Google is almost 400 or more than 400, and other is less than almost 3% or 19 in the number. But I will like to state one thing, as in this pie chart, it's not a very good representation, because it is of the same color, so it's not easy to understand this chart. So it's a better idea to take for each part the different color. So now for the quantitative variables, the distribution tells us what values the variable takes on and how often it takes those values. So we use stem plots and histogram, and we understand these both charts one by one. So for the stem plots, to construct stem plot, first we separate each observation into a stem that is all but the rightmost digit, and a leaf that is the remaining digit. And write these stem into a vertical column, and draw a vertical line to the right of these stems, and write each leaf in a row to the right of these stems. And we can order leaves if we desire. So we see how we can make it in next slide. So here is the example. For this, we got the weight data from the introductory statistics class, and here is the data of different values. So first, we can see here all the data in 3 digits. So for that, we will first construct our stem and then leaves. So here we can see that as there are 3 digits, we will take 2 digits in our stem and the other ones or units one in the leaves. So here first we got the data in 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and these different kind of distribution. And here then we will write our units. So like for 192, we can see here it's 19, so we will write 2 here. Now if we have 152, we will do 15 and then leaf would be 2. Similarly, when we have 135, there is 13, we will write 5 for the leaf here. So similarly, we will complete this stem plot like this. And here we can see when we completed our whole stem plot, there are some numbers which are having more leaves than the others. So here we can see some like 23, 24, 25 have no leaves, whereas 22 has 220 in total weight. So it's one leaf, and similarly. So here is the stem plot from the given data. So here we are taking the different example, and it's saying that if there are very few stems, that is when the data cover only a very small range of values, like we can take example from 130 to 120, and here in the example we are taking the example values from 150 and 179. Then we may choose to use the following stems like 15, 16, 17. And for the leaf, we will use 0 to 4. It would go on the each upper stem, that is first 15, and leaves to 5 to 9 would go on the each lower stem, that is second 15. Now we come to histogram, and for large data set or quantitative variables that take many values, divide the possible value into classes or intervals for equal weights, and count how many observations fall into each interval. Instead of counts, one may also use percents. And we draw a picture representing the distribution. Each bar height is equal to the number or percent of observation in its interval. So for the histogram, we have an example of IQ score of almost 60 students of 5th graders. So here is our data, and there are different bins from different classes like 75 to 85 IQ score, 85 to 95 IQ score, and similarly we are going towards 145 to 155 score. IQ score, and here we can see there are different counts in each category. Like in 75 to 85 there are 2 counts, whereas in 105 to 115 there are 16 counts. So when we make histogram from this data, somewhat it looks like this. So here in x-axis we can see IQ score, and in the y-axis there are number of students. So we can see here in the middle from 105 to 115, the majority of the students are in this particular category. So now you can think that this somewhat looks like bar graph. So I will explain how it is different than bar graph in next slide. So here it's a comparison of bar graph with histogram plot. So in the bar graph, we can see we make bar graph only with the categorical data, whereas we make histogram plot with quantitative data. So here we can see when we see a bar graph, generally there are some categories or words with like categories never married, married, widow, divorced. So this is a categorical data making a bar graph, whereas in histogram plot there are bins and the data is quantitative. Second difference is in the bar graph, shape, center, spread has no meaning, whereas in histogram it is described by what is the shape and center and the spread. The third thing is parts are separated by spaces. We can see particularly here there are spaces. So we can see here there are spaces in between them. Whereas when we talk about the histogram, there are no spaces. And if there are spaces, then it means there are no counts in that particular data group.